How to paint super realistic newborn hair on reborn babies. Hi, my name is Kelly and I am from the UK and I'm a reborn and silicone artist. And welcome to my channel. Are you thinking about being a reborn artist or a silicone artist, or just want to try it out and just do it as a hobby? You are in the right place. I am always uploading videos just like this. So the baby I'm painting today is Pascal. She is a custom order. I use Special Care Nursery air dry paints and acrylic paints. The brushes I'm using are Royal Aqualon Wisp brushes. They come in a set of 5 and I'm actually using the smallest one at the moment. What I'm doing is I'm just mapping out where I want the hairs to go. So we're just doing a map. We're doing really thin brush strokes to map out where I want the hair to be. I really like painting browns, painting brown shades. I don't really like painting blonde hair. It's not really a thing that I enjoy. But what I will say is, when painting brown hair, you want to start with the lighter shades of brown and then work your way up to the darker shades. When painting like blonde or lighter shades, you want to start with dark and work your way up to light. This is just something that I've taught myself, just through trial and error. I am completely self-taught and this works really, really well for me. So once I've mapped out where I want the hair to go, I'm going to do the crown, like the spiral on top of the head. It's usually at the back of the head like this, but you can put it anywhere. And then I'm going to start bringing the hair out in various points, probably about 4 or 5 points. I come out to the edges of the head, and this is just to map out where I want the hair to flow. Remember, when painting hair, you want it to flow. Once I've done all those points, I actually start filling in the gaps. So we're going to start filling in the gaps now, but remember, you want to keep the brush really light. These brushes are absolutely brilliant. They are just so, like they are in the name, it's wispy. And you want to keep your hand nice and light. Just let the brush run over the vinyl. When I first started reborning, the hair that I was painting looked nothing like this. Like I said, it's been trial and error. So what I would suggest is practicing on paper, because if you hold the brush in certain ways, you can get certain effects. But this is definitely for more detailed later on. You don't actually need to buy these brushes. You can actually just do it with a thin brush, but this just makes it so much quicker because we've got a lot of hairs on the brush, sorry. This also works in the same way if you are painting a silicone baby. You just need to water down your silicone paint really, really well for it to flow well. So now I'm going in with a bigger brush. It's the same brush, kind of brush, but it's just bigger. So I can do more areas, just do more areas, bigger areas. Now what I'm doing is holding the brush at a certain angle. I'm not holding it flat, I'm holding it at an angle, and I'm basically pushing down and bringing the hairs to a point. So you want a few hairs to start off with, but you want to end on a point of 1 or 2 hairs. This is really going to thicken up your hair, and you don't need to do it all over the head. You'll find with newborn babies, they have, not all the time, but they have a lot of hair on top of their head or around that spiral, maybe a little bit around the back of the head and around the ears, but they're kind of bold. But you do want the not bristly, just the wispy hairs. You want the wispy hairs more or less all over the head. So you'll know from painting newborn babies, you're adding layers. You're not just painting, you're adding translucent layers. Obviously the hair painting is not translucent really, but we're adding layers and layers and layers. You can't just like paint a few strokes and think that's it. So basically I'm showing you a bit of a slower one, because obviously the video is sped up, but it just shows you the angle that I'm going at. And we're going to just keep doing this, guys. We're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again until you're completely happy. We are just going by eye. I'm not like copying a picture. With painting hair, we don't copy pictures. It's very difficult to actually paint exactly on like hair on a picture. That's why I said it's better to practice on like a piece of paper or something like that, to see if you can get the brush strokes to look as realistic as possible. While I've got my brown paint out, I'm actually going to just do the lash line, and with this really thin brush I can really give these eyebrows some detail. I'm also going to go up onto the hairline to do this as well, because you'll find with newborn babies they do have a lot of tiny little baby hairs or downy hairs on their forehead, around their temple area, and it's really easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's better to use a one strand brush rather than the wispy brushes to actually get these details. As you can see, I'm also using the same brush to do these hairlines a bit thicker. Now what I'm doing here is just bringing everything together. So these hairs, like on top of the head where you find it's more thicker, you can really bring these together. So you want to start off with about 3 or 4 strands, and you want it to come down into one strand. I'm basically just going to do this wherever I feel like I need it, and also because I've got this brush out I can put more hairs on, them tiny little downy hairs. We can do that while we're here. As you can see, I've relocated. I've actually gone indoors. It's so the other one was the day before. This is the next day. The first day I think I painted for about 3 hours, and I finished up inside my house because it's actually raining here in the UK today. Yeah, so I'm just finishing up today. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just filling in any gaps, the tiny little downy hairs that we talked about before in the video a bit earlier on. Just filling in a few gaps here and just making it pop really. I'm actually going to add a bit more thickness around this area on top of the head. This is just personal preference, guys. I absolutely love this style of hair. I just love it. And I find painting with brown shades a lot easier than painting with blonde shades. But as you can see, this is all really coming together now. She is looking super realistic. The more hair that you put on, the more hair the baby's going to look like it has, the thicker the hair is going to be. I just personally like it like this. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking the brown mixed with a lighter brown, and I've just watered it down with some distilled water, and I am basically shading the head. That where I've put the hair, I'm shading just with a sponge, and I'm just blotting this just to shade it. I don't know why, but this just really makes it look even more real, and definitely just finishes it up for you. Honestly, you will not regret doing this, but you do need this layer watered down. And there you have it, super realistic reborn hair. That hair is not going anywhere because it doesn't need to be brushed. It's just gorgeous as it is. It just sits there. Obviously I need to mat, but this is the result.